That's it. It's Amr from Chai Vision. I'm here with Ashwaad. Ashwaad, how are you doing?
Nice to meet you. Doing good, thank you.
Thanks. Before we start, where are we sitting right now? Introduce this place for us.
Well, this is a local cafe that have been very generous for us to use today, right now. It's called Kaffiend Up.
Yeah. You got the logo the right around as well, yeah.
I come here, you know what? I come here every Sunday around, well, I'm not going to say the time in case I got any stalkers, but I come every Sunday just before my second kids class that I'm coaching, just to get a top up on my caffeine.
Yeah, good. It's a small world, isn't it? Because I live around here, and I would come in here to grab Karak Chai before I go to work, right?
Nice.
And he mentioned you. That's how we got in touch with each other. So I came down to your interclub, and I think you built something amazing. And I wanted to do this interview after I saw that interclub, because there's more to it than just that interclub. And I wanted to get to know what that journey was like for you, how you're doing it, because you're not an old guy, you're quite young, and you're doing something that you would think someone that's more mature would set up. So first question to you, bro, is how old are you, first of all?
You know what? I was just going to say, I will stop there. How old do you think I am? Let me put that back to you. How old do you think I am?
All right, I would probably say you got to be maybe like 23, 24.
Whoa, thank you. That's a compliment. That is actually more than 10 years younger than my age.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
so I'll take back what I said, didn't I? That's
no, you know what? Thank you. I get that a lot. And I'm actually, my age is 36. 36. And I'm married, 4 kids, which a lot of people find surprising when they first hear that I'm even 36. Forget having kids, but it's all part of being active. It's all part of being active, training, and just being on the move. Because there's a lot of people, once they hit the age of 30, you start feeling your body changes, and like. Even some of my coaches that I have that are now at the age of mid-50s, they look so strong. Yeah. So it's just being active.
So you come across as someone that's quite cheerful, quite peaceful, shall we say, and you're a Muay Thai coach.
Yeah.
So when you were in school, let's go back because I want to know what this journey was like, right? So when you were at school, were you an aggressive child? Were you an active child? What were you like? What was the young version of you like?
As very energetic, always up to mischief. I always wanted to make sure that, I'm the lad kind of thing, like most boys. Just getting up to nonsense and getting into trouble. And that's actually, that directly relates to why, as a kid, there was a point where my parents stopped me from doing Thai boxing.
Were you training Thai boxing when you were younger?
I started in the year 2000. I was 10 years old. I remember it was a winter. I used to tell my dad, my dad used to work 2 jobs. He used to work very hard. And I used to really want to do martial arts. I said, Dad, come on, please. And then I bugged him for so many months. And then one day he was off. It was very hard to find him off. So he goes, yeah, come, let's go. I'm going to take you. We used to live near Bethnal Green then. He goes, I'm going to take you to Ali Jackal's gym. I said, who's that? He goes, don't worry, he's from the Bengali community, really well-known champion. I said, all right, come, let's go. So then we went there. It's not Ali Jackal's gym, it was actually KO gym. Just because Ali Jackal was around there, that area. So we went there and I loved it. It was a winter day. It was night time. Went there, loved it. It was in KO Gym when they were just off Bethnal Green, and Crew Bill was actively coaching then as well. But my direct coach was either Leon, he's not there anymore, or it was with Crew Bill. And it was amazing. I never forget that I worked so hard. Like, I was like, in 4 months, I was like ripped. I was crazy. I loved it so much. And it helped me channel my energy. It actually helped me channel my energy, because in the block, there used to be a lot of fights happening. And when everyone found out, no, Ashwaad does Thai boxing, they never used to try it. I remember one kid tried it, and then I put him in his place. But I didn't bust him up, I just put him in his place. And then after, everyone was like, nah, allow it after that. No one done anything. But then the next, when I got into secondary school, again, I had to stand my ground, have 1 or 2 fights, show people, you know, don't come next to me kind of thing. And what helped is some of the older year 9, year 10 kids, they used to come train as well. And they saw that I was at KO Gym training. Then even though he used to bust me out, this kid never stops coming. It just keeps coming at you. And I had a few fights representing KO Gym as a youngster. But eventually, you know what, I just got too naughty. And I moved houses, moved away from the area of Bethnal Green, borderline Hackney, moved away from there, moved over to Newham, and I've been living in Newham for the past 25 years now. And since then, my training was just on and off, because it was a long distance to travel from. My oldest brother, I'm always grateful to him, who would bring me back and forth from Newham to Tower Hamlets for training, and then pick me up and then bring me home as well. But some days I will say it won't happen. And what will happen, I will see it in my behavior. So what will happen, because some days where I didn't have time to train, and I still had a lot of energy in me, when I'm going back to school, I channeled it out the wrong way. And that got me into trouble, and it just kept escalating, like with teachers, with other people in school, and then outside of school. And eventually it got to a point where my parents were just like, you know what, it's enough. But they obviously didn't understand what's going on. I didn't understand what's going on. And I got grounded, pretty much it. I got in trouble with police a lot of times. And they just said, nah, you're not allowed to go out, you're not allowed to do anything. And that was it. That was from the age of 10 to about 13, 3 years. I remember Crew Bill, he really liked me. He said, carry on, I'm gonna make you my champion. He goes, you're really good. I remember back then as well, who was it? David Petit, he used to come. And Leon was his friend. And Leon used to pull him. I used to be like, look at this kid. I used to look at David Petit. He used to come and say hi, walk past. I was like, yeah, whatnot. And they used to say to me, what do you want to do at the end of the session? I used to say, I want to do fitness. Like, you're the only kid that says you want to do fitness. I just want in my pants. But I would train hard, you know, like even at the age of 10, I would take some videos from KO Gym, and I'll tell my coach, look, I'm going to take these videos, I'm going to watch it at home, and I'll bring it back to you the next week or in another 2-3 days. He goes, yeah, go watch it, go see how they fight, come back and try it in sessions. And I used to do that even at home, like 2 times a day. I would do my own fitness. I'd do like 50 press-ups, 50 burpees, 50 squats by myself, once in the morning, once in the evening. And when it comes to training, I was just on fire. I could feel the strength in me. But yeah, just, you know.
Why did your family decide to, let's say, stop the Muay Thai training when you were, let's say, coming off the rails a little bit? Why did they not double down on it? What was the reasoning? Or what was the impact to you then?
So they thought he's learning this skill and he's becoming dangerous, and he wants to use it now because he thinks he could take over and beat everyone up and probably becoming a bully or something. I was never a bully. I even as a kid, even though I knew I could be a bully. I was quite big for my age back then. I think I grew fast earlier than others, but it stopped at year 8. The height I was at year 8, I'm still that same height. But I was never a bully. I hate bullies. And partly being because when I was in nursery, reception, early years of primary school, I actually got bullied. So I knew that feeling. So even when I was able to hold myself down, I never bullied anyone. They wanted to stop me because they didn't know how else to stop me from getting into trouble. I was never into like drugs or stuff like that. That wasn't my thing. My thing was just like energy, aggression, and just fighting. If I wasn't fighting in the gym, I'll be fighting in school. If I didn't have a fight in school or in the gym, I'll be fighting on the street. It got to that point. Like I just needed to let it out somehow. And my parents, I didn't understand. My parents didn't quite understand how to deal with it, and they just said, "You're not allowed to do anything. You're just gonna stay home." I used to remember my mate used to knock on the door and say, "Oh, come out," and I'd be like, "Sorry, man, I can't come out." So from I'll say midway through year 8, everything. I didn't even mention. I used to play for Junior Hammers from year 7 to year 8. I was playing football at a decent level as well.
Did that stop as well? Did you stop that as well when you were?
Yeah, I actually started football training because my coach said to me, "Ashwaad, you're good, but we need to get your stamina up. So you need to go running. You need to go jogging when you're not at the gym." I was like, "How do I do that? I don't want to go jogging by myself on the road." So my eldest brother, he's into football. He goes to me, "You're going to join a football club." So my eldest brother, on top of taking me back and forth from the Thai boxing gym, on the weekends he will also take me to my football matches, and it was he done a lot. I won't forget that. So I played football for we played at London Cups and stuff like that. I remember one of the guys that played in my team, he got scouted by Arsenal as well. So we had a very good team. We actually won the Newham Cup, Newham League. One year we won everything. Honestly, it was insane. But I wasn't the cut for it. Still, football was very competitive. Everything just stopped for me when I started getting too much in trouble. Year 8, everything stopped. Year 9, 10, 11, and then college as well. Nothing really happened. When I got to the age of 16, I thought, you know what? I'm going to put my head down, try and make something out of myself, make sure I could get a good job when I'm older and focus on that. But something was missing. Always there was something missing. Like, I was getting unhealthy, and I don't know. You know when you know there's something missing, and it was just that. Later, I started training again. Started training again when I was back at uni, and that's it. I knew this was it. It was martial arts. It was Thai boxing.
Where in uni were you training?
So when I went to uni, I went back to KO gym again. Once a week, I was doing KO gym. And the other days, I started learning Krabi Krabong and Muay Baran. So I watched, what's that, Ombak.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, what is that? It's like, I've never seen that. I know Thai boxing, but what's that? And one of my older cousin brothers, he's a martial arts fanatic. He was like to me, "This is Krabi Krabong and Muay Baran. This is the traditional Thai art. Like, this is where Thai boxing came from." I said, "I need to know that." That's it. I need to know that. So competitive Thai boxing went out of my system, and then I had more interest in tradition. I wanted to understand the source, the tradition. and I was, because I went to university, I think I was a bit more into like my books and trying to understand like the source of things and stuff like that. So I started training. I was very fortunate. We've got locally in Stratford, Ajahn Paul Whitrod. So he's the Grand Master for UK for Krabi Krabonga Marbaran on behalf of Budai Sawan in Thailand. So Budai Sawan in Thailand is one of the head institutes for the traditional arts of Krabi Krabong and Marbaran. So I learned under him, directly under him, locally, me and my older brother. So I trained with him for about maybe good 4 years. So learning the double sword, the single sword, the stick, also learning the unarmed combat. So that was an eye opener, honestly, because I saw the moves that weren't doing, the techniques that weren't being used in the ring because they're too dangerous, what they are, the 15 majors and the 15 sub-majors, like what they are. Now you do see in some gyms, they try implement a little bit of it. But you ask the general person that trains Thai boxing if they know any or even like two traditional Thai boxing moves, they won't know. Like deer looks back, and crocodile swings its tails, or something like that. They won't know what it is, but these are like a lot of the traditional Thai moves. They're named after like animal movements, and that's what it is. It's amazing.
What did you get out of it, like individually? So you've had this big space from being like a decent level in terms of Muay Thai, young but decent level. You're going somewhere with it. Then taking this big break, while you kind of went on a personal journey to a little bit from getting issues with police to now studying and focusing, and you changed as a person a little bit to now find, Muay Boran. What did that mean to you on a personal level?
I feel that taking that break, what it done is actually understand myself as well, and not just purely just myself, learn how to control myself and be myself without using anything else to help me or guide me, just to be me. And also within that time as well, I tried to also being more of a practicing Muslim as well, and that helped me as well, because I think everyone needs a bit of spirituality, and that really helped me calm me down, make more sense of everything that's around me, how to understand life, how to approach life, how to go about life. And then once I felt that I had developed some sort of understanding in terms of spirituality and life itself, going back to like martial arts or something like the traditional arts of the Krabi Krabong and Muay Boran, it allowed me to appreciate the art much better than if I was just a young kid looking at these techniques. I wouldn't appreciate it for what it actually is and the value it holds, because I know that those traditional arts, the Thai arts, they are highly valued to the Thai community. Not even just the Thai community, to the martial arts community, in terms of its tradition, its spirituality, everything. And I respect that. I had a lot more respect for it, taking that break and coming to know something like this. And that's why what I do is with my training, some of the adults that I train, is I don't just teach them Thai boxing. I also tell them, you can do this move, which is a ring move, or you can try implement some Muay Boran or Krabi Krabong and do it like this. And they'll be like, wow, this is really amazing, thank you. And a lot of them come and say to me, Coach, you know what? I've been to that gym or this gym, but the way you show us and everything that you bring, there's a lot more to it. There's a lot more detail and depth to it. And what's recently helped me as well is, you know what, I don't actually get to train Thai boxing anymore because of my busy lifestyle, like full-time working, 4 kids, and then just family work. And most of the training is like 7:30. I'm trying to put my kids to bed at that time, so it doesn't work. But the training that I have found available locally around me is that there's BJJ and there's judo, which I can attend at a later time, or judo with my kids attend. So I started doing that just to keep myself active. I still do like competing because where I kind of missed out in my teenage years, I want to make up for that. So if I was able to train Thai boxing, I'd still be competing Thai boxing. I'll tell you that. If I could train Thai boxing today still regularly, I will still do Thai boxing. I'll be out there competing. It's still in my blood, that fire's still there. But now, because I train BJJ and judo, I've been doing that a lot more. So I compete in IBJJF whenever I can. I'm also the London gold medalist for judo last year. So I try to compete as much as high level as I can for grappling right now.
Let's go back a little bit though. Yeah, so let's go back to, you're in university, you're now studying, you're training as well. What are you doing in university? How does that mirror to what you're doing in terms of training?
Okay, so at university, I was doing construction management. I always had I was always eager how things are built around us. And I knew that I wanted to, get into construction because as a kid, I was always building stuff with toys. So I got into construction. My brother is in construction as well, quantity surveyor. So then I got into that same field. I liked numbers. I liked putting things together. So I said, you know what? I'll be a quantity surveyor. And yeah, doing it. It's good. It pays the bill. It's good money. And to be honest, in the early days, it actually helped me fund Legends Muay Thai when it was just something that I was just doing with the adults in the community.
Okay, so you're training now in Muay Baran, you're training this. From there, I'm very interested to know what was next for you, because you just said you got into BJJ, judo, you're competing at a high level. That's like a big change from, let's say, Muay Thai background going into that. Is that just literally just because of the location and what was available? And what part of you're on a job now, you're earning decent money.
Yeah.
You're a young guy, good looking chap. Why do you want to go and do BJJ with the cauliflower ears and all of this? What makes you want to do that? What's the itch inside of you that says, actually, I want to compete? You're getting your training, you're doing your Muay Thai, you're getting a little bit of martial arts in your life, you got your life sorted, you do your quantity surveying, and you're still doing it now. There's something that you enjoy doing, which is good, right? But what makes you want to compete? Because it's a different monster altogether and it requires a lot of time and effort. What was that itch?
The itch, so the move, so what happened basically from doing Muay Baran and Krabi Krabong, it showed I still had that love, that childhood love for Thai boxing. Even till now, I have that childhood love for Thai boxing. It will never go. A lot of my mates that started with me, that they've grown out of it. They're like, you've never grown out of Thai boxing. I was like, I never will, and I'll keep doing it. And I've carried that on. I've passed it on to my kids and to the rest of the community now, and I love it. From that, what happened is I was actually competing. I had to rebuild myself because I had to be realistic. I was like, okay, I competed in Thai boxing back when I was like 11, 12, 13. And now I've come back to it. I am 21, 22. 21, 22. So I was training 1 day a week in KO gym, and then because of the traveling and also a bit of money as well, because it's expensive training. But I had the knowledge and I knew what it takes to get into competition. So I would train with my younger brother and my older brother. We would train together. We'll hire out a hall locally in Newham, and then we'll train together 1 or 2 times a week as well. So I get more training, and we would go in like we were doing interclubs, and then we started trying to push for amateur shows as well. And one of the amateur shows, which was my last as well, I wish I was able to carry it on. Raf's show, S3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wanted to Raf's show, S3. I actually wanted to do a C class then. I wanted to, because I'd done enough interclubs, and I was like, you know what? I think I found myself again, my competitiveness in the ring. And then I told Raf, you know what? He found me a match, and he goes, yeah, we've got someone. It's N class. I said, can you try push it to C class? Do you think we could do a C class fight? I knew I was ready for it. And the guy was a little bit taller and whatnot. I've seen the guy before, but I thought, you know what? I'm just going to go for C class. I know myself. I know what I can handle. And I've conditioned myself so much. So he goes, I'll see what they say. And then they rejected it. They're like, no, not C class. I said, you know what, all right, fine. Is this the only opponent that I have? Because I fight at 55 kg on Thai boxing or kickboxing. So it's very difficult to come across a lot of competitors in that weight. So he goes, no, there isn't. I said, all right, fine, I'll do C class. Went in there. And then, yeah, like I thought, it happened. The night went the way I wanted. And thank you on that night as well. Bradley Heason came out and he cornered me with my brothers as well. I really, thanks, Brad. I will always remember that. KO is always family to me. I'll always remember that. Yeah, won that. I was one of the first fights, and man, smashed it. I felt like Rocky Balboa in there, back in my groove again. I was egging that guy and saying, come on, come. And he was going at it. And the guy couldn't break me. I came forward and then demolished it. It was game. It was done. After that, everyone was like, you know what? I had a few people that actually came from audience and came up to me and said, who are you? Where have you all of a sudden come from? So I told them my story. They're like, we want to see a lot more of you. The actual audience came up to me. Some of the guys from Leicester, Coventry. So I was like, you know what, I need to do this more. After that, more kids came. It was the birth of my second daughter. And then training was just second. And you have to put family first. As a man, you have to put family first. And that's what happened really. It's just family, put more time into my kids, making sure my priorities are right. And then from there, I had to work something out. I had to be realistic with myself. I'm not going to go and do a Thai boxing competition. My aim was to actually, after that fight, my aim was that same year, maybe near the end of the year, because in March I had that S3 fight, and then I was hoping go on holiday, have my baby is born, my second child, and then at the end of the year, just before Christmas break, try get another fight in and try get on to Muay Thai Grand Prix. I really wanted to do that. That's where I thought I see myself fighting C class, B class, A class, and just doing it all the way. That's what I really wanted to do, because I wanted to make up for those years that I missed out from the age of 14 to like 20. I had to make that up. But it didn't happen, and I'm one of those people, I go with the flow. It didn't happen, it's fine, I've got better things in life. I've got a beautiful wife, I've got 4 beautiful kids, and boy, they're fire, I'm telling you. The WKO has seen a little bit of them in action in the ring, so that's all I've got to say. And yeah, I'm happy still, man. I'm happy, but I mean that fire of fighting, I'm now channeling it into my BJJ a lot, and also whenever I can into judo, because that's where I get.
When did you start the BJJ?
I started BJJ.
So 21, 22, you said your last fight, okay, all right?
Yeah.
So then BJJ was what, how many years later?
Yeah.
You start competing in that? Training it even?
Yeah, so I started in that maybe at the age of 24, 2 years later after my second daughter was born. And the reason being is that I stopped training regularly for a while, and I had to be real with myself. I had to be like, I can't go for big Thai boxing shows and just be training once or twice a week. It's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna go there, get beaten up and come home with cut hair and broken limbs to my family. And I wanna win as well. So I said, all right, fine, that's not happening. I could do Thai boxing as a hobby. I'll accept that, but I need to do something else that I could do regularly. So I was looking around, what's around me, and I found BJJ. I found a couple of brothers that were training locally in a center. It's Coach Waleed. He's actually a four-stripe black belt, one of the first Muslim four-stripe black belts that was in the UK. Serious competitor. So started training with him and his gym. I was doing that 2-3 times a week, and then from there got into MMA a little bit. So I was training with ESKF gym doing MMA, and they're doing big now. They're doing big. Like Muay Thai Abu Bakr, he's UAE world champion now. So I had the opportunity training with even the likes of Muay Thai Abu Bakr for a bit. I actually did a semi-pro MMA fight once, but didn't have much luck. It's alright. MMA wasn't my thing, I guess, but I enjoyed it. And then from that, I thought maybe I could do MMA for a little bit. But what happened, I was training one day, and I don't know, it was a bit of a freak accident actually. I broke my ankle. 2 cracks on my left ankle, and then after that my wife said to me, nah, you're not doing MMA. You've been doing martial arts all these years, and then you do MMA for 2 years, and you crack your ankle. She's like, nah. I said, all right, I'll just stick to BJJ then. So I've been doing that. So I'm a purple belt now in BJJ. Been purple belt for about a year and a half. My last BJJ fight. Was in UEL, and I got a gold on purple, which I was actually very happy because I haven't competed for like maybe 9 months, and I thought, I need to get back into action again. I just thought I'd go in there, get myself into it again. If I win, lose, I don't really care. I just need that. I need to feel that adrenaline again. I need to feel alive. So I went there, won all my fights, got a gold, and then later someone told me the guy you beat in the finals, he's actually IBJJF gold medalist in February. So I was really chuffed by that. I was like, you know what, this was good then.
Enjoy that. Good. Where do you go from? I go inside.
Oh, the show.
Sorry.
Where do you... You're training BJJ. It's been a few years since you've done any kind of Muay Thai. What makes you want to start Legends?
Yeah, so I actually started Legends without knowing I started it when I was training myself for Thai boxing fights. Okay. Because I couldn't go KO gym like consistently. I was training myself locally with my brothers. And I mean, there was no name for it then. We were just training, getting together. Yeah, we were just training. And what happened is that eventually, slowly, more and more people. Yeah. So what happened is that I was training locally with my brothers, and when people just wanted to get involved, like friends and just adults in the community, so we just said, yeah, come on, it'd be nice to have more people around and train. It feels a bit more lively when we're training. So they started coming, and then from that, 2 years down the line, I wasn't training at KO anymore. I was training more by myself. More and more people wanted to join me because people follow where there's energy. Honestly, there's one thing a lot of people don't understand. Whatever you get into, it could be martial arts, it could be writing, it could be, I don't know, it could be whatever it is. But when people see like good energy coming out from someone in their work, everyone will follow you. And that's what happened. Because they saw my love from Thai boxing and the love my brothers had as well, people just wanted to be with us and train with us. From that, I thought, you know what, I need to give this a name and see what happens to it, really. And I just named it Legends. And from there, it was just adults. We were just doing interclubs or just taking them interclubs or even just training. And from that, when my kids got of age of like 4 or 5, what I started doing is doing a separate class for my kids and my brother's kids, really. So some of the champions we have now that are age of 10, I mean, they were training, not serious training, but they were just coming here and there to train some moves and just getting used to the environment. But now they've been awarded to my eldest daughter and my eldest niece, both of them same age, same weight category. They went different disciplines, 1K1, 1 Muay Thai, and both hijabis as well, out of East London, and they've been awarded the WKO World Grand Prix champions.
Wow, good. So before we start talking about Legends a little bit more, from the kid that was in school that was a little bit naughty and mischievous to now teaching, that's a big step. What was that like for you? Like from adjusting from this, like all fighters don't make good coaches. I think you said this to me, right? All the top level fighters don't necessarily make good coaches because it's another skill set, being a coach and a teacher. What did you learn over your years that made you a good teacher? Because you are a good teacher. What made you that way?
One is obviously having the knowledge. And my knowledge source came from very well-established and skillful people, such as Crew Bill Judd and Ajahn Paul Whitrod. And then after that, it's passion. And then from there, it's being a father, it's knowing how to be with kids, knowing how to love and respect a child and how to teach children. The skill set of being a father really helped me as well in terms of how to handle kids and how to talk to kids and come to their level so they can understand you. The most difficult part, I will say, of trying to put all of that together and really make something great out of a child and really putting together I would like to say one of the best syllabuses, junior syllabuses, is that taking the knowledge of my teachers, my coaches, and simplifying it more was incredibly difficult because the way Crew Bill Judd has like methodically, well, if I can say the word properly, his methodology of Thai boxing, it's a science. It's a whole, he's done it in like a really beautiful science, what he's done. I've not seen anyone else do it like that. And then Ajahn Paul Whitrod, the way he's taught me the traditional Thai art, again, amazing. Trying to put those two together and then simplifying it so kids can understand it was the most challenging part. But I think I've got there. I think I've got there. And the reason why I say that is because now the kids are going out and they're winning championships. They're flying up and down the country. So, firstly, they're winning for themselves. I feel like I'm winning with them because I feel like I've got a winning syllabus. And they're doing the community proud as well because they've inspired, the whole of East London, hundreds of kids. It's amazing. And it's not trying to be intelligent or smart, isn't trying to make something complicated. It's to make something complicated, simple, and teach it to a child. If you could make a child do something at a very high level and explain it to them in very simple terms, wow, that's amazing.
When I came to your interclub, you were saying how there were multiple locations that came together for that interclub. So there's one thing to teach, just, like a hire a community hall and teach, and there's another to build something like that. There's two different skills. What was the biggest challenge that you had to overcome to be able to get Legends from where it started, when you just said you've given it a name, now it's a thing, it's an entity? What was the biggest challenge for you to get it to where it is now?
The other challenge of getting it out there to the community. Not everyone knew what it was. Forget what Legends is. Not everyone knows what Muay Thai is. And if they know what Thai boxing is, they don't know necessarily the name of Muay Thai. So what I've done is actually I have good connection with some of the Islamic institutes in the area and some of the imams as well. But, it's just the geographic that we live in. And I got in touch with some local imams and they said, I gave them a proposal, they liked it, they said, yeah, this will be very good for some of our students in terms of their confidence, in terms of their health and well-being, and let's give it a shot, let's see what happens. So from there, we took it on, we used some of the centres locally around in the area as a test try, and the community welcomed it with open hands, and it's just been the last 4 years. It's just been getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
And how have you expanded? How have you added people to your team? Because you've got a nice team together. How have you added people to your team? And how have you made sure that those people that you've added have the same values? It's one thing because you're quite a passionate person, and you have your own experience and your life journey, but it doesn't necessarily mean the next coach that you bring on that's going to help you out has the same values. How have you qualified those coaches to do what you do?
So the coaches, all of the coaches, they were once upon a time my students. So when I was training myself, and also, like I mentioned, there was some adults that used to come and train. There were also some teenagers that used to come and train as well. So these are some, now the coaches that I used to help me in all of the centres, they were once upon a time my students that are now adults. So they know the method that I used to teach, they know my passion, they know who I am, I know who they are, and they know exactly what I'm trying to bring to the community, and they're on the same line as well. They have the same understanding, the same passion, because if they didn't, they wouldn't be with me all these years. There has been people that have been with me that have left and done their own thing, but yeah, good on them, that's fine. But the thing I will say to people is, you don't always need to start something new. If you don't need to, don't do it. If there's something happening, stay together as a community and make it bigger. We could do bigger things together. But when you do something by yourself, there'll be an impact, but it may not be as a bigger impact that you would want working together as a team.
How do you measure your success as a coach?
What?
As a coach, I measure my success by the confidence that I have built in my students. Not necessarily how many fights, not necessarily how many wins or belts they get. It's their confidence. If I could make, a lot of kids that I have are very reserved, quiet, and or they might have behavioral issues. If they come to me and I get a feedback maybe 6 months down the line from their parents saying, thank you, coach, they're a lot more disciplined, they have a lot more confidence in and out of school and socializing with people, honestly, I've done my job. I don't care if they don't become fighters. I've done my job because I know I've given back. I've created a young person that will now be, that could have a positive effect in the community.
Has that happened to you yet? Someone's come back and given you that feedback?
Yeah, loads. I love it. Yeah, loads. There's been loads of players that come back like that. And you know what? That's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me and the rest of the team going, and all the people I work with, all the different institutes I work with, that's what keeps us going. Those feedback, and what I'm trying to do now is actually capture those moments. So when we have interclubs, get feedback from parents and students and really capture that. So if you look at some of our social media posts, you will see the feedback from parents and kids, and you will actually see these kids in action as well. So amazing. Recently, what's happened in the past year as well is local authorities have got in touch with me. They've actually brought me into their office and they said, we've seen what you're doing, we love it, we want to use you more. What can you give more to the community? So I've been attending more community events, like Newham Council events or Town Hamlets events. And also we're trying to get involved more in Havering as well. So we're seeing what else we can do to have a bigger impact in East London.
Yeah, just a little while ago, earlier in the interview, you mentioned about energy. And you mentioned how your positive energy and energy that you have attracts people to you, and that kind of builds things. How do you protect your energy? Because you're working, you have kids, you have the demand of being a coach, and not a coach on the side as a side hustle. You're building something big. It's a big community thing. There's a lot of interactions. There's interactions with parents, talking about the kids and all of this stuff. How do you protect your energy? How do you make sure you're okay? Because you're the feeder of Legends. I'd very much like to know how you do that.
I don't know. Get coffee from Kaffiend, maybe. I don't know, that's actually a very good question. The energy I get is, I need to figure that out myself. But I would like to think just staying active, but still training. It helps me maintain that energy, because I know 100% the weeks I'm not training, recently, 2 weeks back, what happened was that there was a lot of weddings and family events that was happening. So one of the coaches got married, and it was just a bit crazy. I didn't get time to train, do any sort of training for myself. And it was a week and a half, I didn't get to do any training. I just felt like I was feeling really low in myself, and I was feeling really weak. It didn't feel right. And you know what happened? I actually felt ill for about 2 days. And I looked at my wife, I said, this is not happening again, I need to at least train once a week just to keep my my energy going, because I feel like my blood just isn't pumping properly. So yeah, it's just training. I need to train. I need to have that physical interaction with people, and that's what's important. You know, I could go to the gym and easily, I know there was at a point I was like, what am I? I'm like right now walking about. I watch myself with my food and my diet as well. So I maintain myself around 58 to 61 kg. I maintain, because whenever I try to get ready for an IBJJF competition or a big judo competition, I go back down to like 59, 58 kg. So I need to make sure I know I can pull my weight back in. So yeah, what I do, I keep myself training, and I need to make sure that I can have some interaction with people. If I don't do that, and if I just go to the gym and I'm just pumping weights all the time, and I know I could easily get to like 100 kg on the bench, but that's not my aim, because I get bored. But when I'm pushing, like when I'm doing BJJ or like training MMA or judo or Thai boxing or something, and I'm pushing someone that is 100 kg where I'm like 60 kg, yo, that's where the real like adrenaline pumps in. Like, yeah, this is sick. Like, even when I get a good whack on the face, sometimes it wakes you up. It's life. You just gotta put yourself together and go at it. And that's what I do. I just love that, because I feel, you know, when the one thing people don't understand about martial arts, whichever martial arts, when we come across pressure, the general person, when they come across pressure, sometimes they quiver up, especially when it's face to face. But if you could face that pressure and be present and keep going, you learn a lot about yourself and you become stronger. And that's what martial arts does. And that's what I'm bringing to the community. That's what I'm bringing to these kids. I tell the parents, you know what I tell the parents when they come? When they come to the interclub. I tell the parents when they come to the interclub, if this is your child's first interclub, I promise you, in the next 2 hours, you're going to have a new child when you walk out the door. Because they're going to have a newfound confidence, which you don't have yourself. And they're going to be completely different. And the couple of days when the kids come back to training, no word of a lie, these kids have a next level focus. And that's what we're doing.
There's a saying that when you put like your energy into the world, right, the world gives it back. And I kind of feel like when you answered the question about when you got that response from someone telling you what you did for the child, that's a little bit of how you get your energy back, because your face lights up when you talk about that feedback. Like even now, it's doing it right now. So sometimes I feel from the conversation we've had, when you're giving that energy to Legends, to these kids, believing in them, you're very passionate when you talk about that. When they give it back to you, that's where you get replenished with your energy. That's why your capabilities of handling so much is so high. That's why you look like a 24-year-old when you're 34.
Yeah. You know what? Energy is very important. It's spirituality, energy is very important. Not just as a competitor or, you know, for a specific field. It's for everyone. Everyone needs good energy and needs to maintain that good energy. And you only get good energy when you give a smile, when you can make someone smile. And that's so important. Nowadays, you know, people just want to be angry. They look at things on social media, they're not happy because they don't have it, or they're not rich, or they can't do this or do that. You know what, there's a lot of things I can't do. I wish I was rich. You know, I earn good money from my day job, but I'm not rich. There's certain things I can't do, and certain things I can do. But I'm happy. You know, that's the way God made it, and we have to be happy with what we have. If I wasn't doing Legends Muay Thai, working with the kids, I probably can do another job and earn a lot more. But the currency that I get of the energy from the community, I see that as currency. That keeps me going. Because if I look back, I know if I look back in the next maybe, I don't know, 10, 15 years, so I'm 36 now, maybe when I'm 46 or 50, I hope so. I think I'll be happy with what I've built, because I'm not just, there's not enough money in this. Like, even in the professional field, you go and ask a coach or a guy that goes cornering his team, they don't make loads of money, or if anything, they make no money. It's all voluntary work. And what better voluntary work to do, you know, working with kids and making a kid be confident and their parents smile and bringing the whole community together, like sports does, and that's what we're doing. And for me, it's a bonus as well, because I get to spend time with my kids on a whole different level. Like, I get to spend time with my kids, teach them a skill, and on top of that is not just my kids, but other kids from the community, is how to interact with the rest of the community, how to actually interact and create something that's meaningful and people really enjoy and come together. And you've seen that in our interclub. Like, you get a lot of aunties and uncles and granddads. You could tell they just come back from the mosque, you know, in their wheelchairs, and they know nothing about Muay Thai, Thai boxing, kickboxing, or anything about that. But they have come because their grandchild or their brother's son or daughter is competing for the first time, and they've been talking about it so much at home, and they've come to support them.
Who in your gym in Legends you want to like shout out some of the kids that really impressed you?
In my gym, you know what? I can't just put one kid. It won't be fair, because there's a lot of kids putting in.
Do it as a group. What have you seen? What have you seen from the kids that have started and the progress that they've made over 6 months to a year? What have you seen from your students? If your students are watching this now, what message would you send them?
I will say to them, keep going, stay consistent, and you will get to where you want to be eventually. It's not about being talented. It's about having a good heart, ensuring that you know how to make people smile, know how to interact with people, building relationship, and there will always be help along the way. Always be help along the way. And that's how we progress. Not just by ourselves. We progress because other people help us. We're always learning of someone else, and that's it. Give your coaches your energy, and they will give you that energy back. And from that, it just keeps getting bigger, and better. And that's what happens. And the kids are all doing well. All of my kids that come, they're doing well. Sometimes I shout at them, but I shout at them because I love them, because I want to build that discipline in them. Sometimes, they might go home thinking, coach, you shouted at me, you don't like me. But when they come back the next time, next lesson, I hold them and I tell them, you know what, I did this so and so because of that. So it's a bit of a sandwich. You shout, love, a bit of shout, love, you know, and you keep building. So especially with kids, you got to really break them down. Some of the naughty kids, you got to break them down to the core. Like I have some kids that they start talking all street with me. So I got to start speaking all street with them. And I got to show them, you know what, coach knows his thing, you know. You better not push me. You don't want to get that side out. So then they're like, okay, I got to calm down here. So I break them down and then build them back up. And they give me that respect. So yeah, and we keep working and keep developing. Sometimes parents message me saying, you know, coach, please, you know, let them do the interclub. You said you can't do it because they've been very naughty, this and that. I said, yeah, and no one's going to change my decision. You change my decision now, they're going to think they're going to walk all over me. So when I say something, it's going to happen. You're going to thank me later for it. And they do. They do thank me for it.
We're coming to the end of this. I've got 2 questions for you. So you've been obviously quite on a personal journey as well, from starting Muay Thai to having some challenging situations in secondary school to coming full circle, having kids training Muay Thai now. Are you happy where you are now?
Yeah, I am. I'm always grateful. Alhamdulillah, I'm always grateful where I am. And you know what? I think that's why things just naturally progress. I honestly didn't think Legends Muay Thai will do all of this stuff. Honestly, I just thought it would just be me and my brothers and that's it. And it will be for a little bit. And that's it really. But yeah, it's got to where it is because of the currency of energy. And that's it, the positive energy. And I'm always grateful for what I have and what people give me. And I think people understand that and everyone likes to give more. So like I've also got I'm trying to run a program which, I am running a school program, after school club program with a primary school academy. And what we're working on currently at the moment is putting a pack together so we could roll out more in the schools in East London. So I'm not just trying to do grassroots with like centres here and there. We're actually now trying to build after school club training for kids. And that's so important because if we just focus on gyms and just people coming to the gyms and training, what happens if parents can't afford to send their kids to the gym? Because that is the case. That is a lot of the time, that's what it is. It's a lot of money. I subsidize a lot of the costs. Sometimes when a centre doesn't make enough money, honestly, I give it out of my own pocket. And I can afford to do that. I'm thankful to God that I could do that. And I have done that for the early 8 years of Legends Muay Thai. I paid out of my own pocket. It's only got to like the last 5 years, it's been making a little bit of money, a little bit of side money. But then again, just keep feeding it in, subsidizing the costs. And then people like Kaffiend sponsoring us, people like Al Ansar, Travel and Tours sponsoring us. Also, there's lovely, generous volunteers that come on board, like community leaders, like Imam Maulana Dewa as well, who helps us. He's been so pivotal, like Legends growing in Newham. It's because of him in one of the centres that we initiated to start. It went so good that it went everywhere else. And then we also got like from Monica Primary School, Mr. Ahmed. So he's been very helpful getting Legends Muay Thai to do after school clubs. And he's trying to help me develop that into something bigger because the head teacher at Monica Primary School and all the teachers now see the benefits. They actually send their kids to my after school club. So they're like to me, sir, this is amazing. So the teachers have actually seeing what I'm doing. And it's a bit nervous sometimes standing there in the assembly showing the kids, the teachers, what they're doing. They're qualified teachers, like they studied to be teachers, whereas I'm someone just standing there. That to me, no, this is great what you're doing, because we couldn't get this out of our kids, this level of confidence, which you have using Thai boxing as the tool. So yeah, let's see what happens. It's like I don't really push for anything anymore. My initial intention was do it in Manor Park where we started, and then maybe around Newham. It's just naturally been growing, and now the teachers want to send it out to all over primary schools, all over Newham, and maybe in Tower Hamlets. I don't know, would I be able to replace this with my full-time job? I don't know. If someone funds it, maybe. If not, I don't really care. I'll keep carrying on. I do what I'm thinking of now. I understand I'm 36, maybe. I don't know, in the next 15, 20 years, I don't want Legends Muay Thai to stop when I retire. And there's going to be a point where maybe I can't hold pads anymore for someone, and I could only instruct, or I can't give the level of energy that I'm giving now to the community because of my age or something in that time. But so I am thinking of coaches to come and take over and keep this work just going and ensuring that it doesn't stop.
So my last question is, you've been on quite a journey, personal life, outside. Who would you like to thank for the journey, and who would you like to thank for you being the person that you are today?
Oh, I always thank God first. I could have been in really bad situations. I mean, there was a point where there was murder cases going. One of my mates got pulled into it. I nearly got pulled into it. Thankfully, but I had good people around me, good mentors, good teachers. So I thank God, alhamdulillah, I had good people around me, always. And then, you know what, very important, my wife, always. Even though she's my biggest critic, she's also my biggest supporter.
I was a bad eater.
All right. Yeah, so
Good.
my wife, I'll say my wife, although she's been my biggest critic, she's also my biggest supporter. Reason being is that whatever I do, like, she's there with me. She actually gave the idea. She actually said Legends can be big. I didn't believe in it. But when there's good energies, everything naturally just happens. You don't need to push for it. It will just happen. And she's always there. Like, even I've trained her up now because I needed a ladies only coach, and it was tough. So to ensure that there's no complication, I said to my wife, you know what, I'm going to train you up. So she trains some women only classes. She's also there in the kitchen when we do our Legends interclub as well. So she's always there 100% every time. Even if she doesn't agree with some of the things, she's always there with me. So yeah, number one person, number one supporter, my wife. I will say to everyone, if you want something to be good and you want a good supporter, just make sure you have a good lady with you.
Ashwaad, thank you for the time. Thank you for this conversation. Really appreciate it. That's it. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. So you're going to have to do a lot of chopping.